It's The Last Stand. And here is your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. I'm Brian Custer. Hey, joining us today is a former world champion. He is now one of the top contenders at welterweight. He is known as the El Azteca Warrior. He's none other than Mario Barrios. Mario, it's been a little bit, but welcome back to The Last Stand.
Always good to be back, Brian.
It's good to see you, my brother. Listen, look, first time seeing you back in the ring since that Tank Davis fight, and it's your debut at welterweight. Why? Why the move up to 147?
Well, the move up, it's been a long time coming already, and but yeah, it's here. We have a great opportunity in front of us, a great fighter in front of us. And just looking forward, to going out February 5th and giving everybody a great fight, displaying my abilities once more. And, looking forward, to coming up victorious come February 5th.
It begs the question. Listen, you could have, obviously, in the move up to 147, had a tune-up fight like a number of guys do when they make the move up in your welterweight debut. Yet you decide to take on Keith Thurman, one time, a former unified champion. Why Thurman?
He was the biggest opportunity, that was presented. And I want to, continue on testing my abilities, testing, my skills. And, there's never been anybody that I've been, afraid to step in the ring with. So Keith Thurman is no different. Like I said before, I know he's a great fighter, a former world champion. He's been in there with some of the best, in the division, arguably. And I'm excited for the opportunity. Excited, to go out there on February 5th.
You know this very well too. To make your debut at welterweight and then to beat someone like Keith Thurman, that says to the boxing landscape, oh, I'm a problem. And yeah, well, in 47, I'm here. Did that come into your mind when you said, okay, yeah, give me Keith Thurman if I'm gonna be at 147?
No, yeah, absolutely. It was the biggest fight, that, like I said, that could have been presented. And we know, coming off of that, given where we go out there, we handle business. That puts the whole division on notice of my presence, and that was a big motivator, with this fight. I'm looking, to debut at welterweight, but more importantly, I'm trying to put the whole division on notice.
Thurman hasn't fought in 2.5 years. Man, he had numerous injuries. He talked about it with us on The Last Stand. Some have even written him off, saying that his days as an elite welterweight are over. What do you think?
Well, we're going into February 5th with the mentality that, Thurman is rested. Thurman is, in perfect health and condition, and he's coming back hungrier than ever. So we're expecting to see the best version of Thurman, and that's been a real big motivator throughout camp. We're not looking at him as oh, he's coming off all this time off. He's gonna be slow. He's gonna be sluggish. He's had past injuries. None of that is even in my mind whenever I'm in the gym training, because I know at the end of the day, he's a fighter. He's a former world champion. Again, he's been in there with the best, and I know come February 5th, he's gonna be ready. But so am I.
So when you talk about Keith Thurman, Mario, body shots have been known to be his kryptonite, and you look at some of his biggest fights, when he's taken a body shot, it's been a problem. How important will that be for you in this fight, is to go to the body of Keith Thurman?
Going to the body in any one of my fights is important. I've always loved tearing down the body whenever I fight. We know he has shown that he can get hurt from body shots. But I mean, at the same time, even in those fights, when he got hurt, he always came back. So I mean, I'm prepared, and we're preparing, to go a full, hard 12 rounds.
Do you believe the power that you had at 135, the power that you had at 140 will travel with you to 147, where the guys obviously are a lot bigger?
I believe so, but come February 5th, I'm excited, just to go out there and display that, not only for myself, but for everybody in the boxing world.
And it also begs this question: do you believe Mario Barrios will be just as successful at 147 as you were at 135, 140?
I believe so. We have had a tremendous camp so far. We're a little less than 3 weeks out, and so now we're just tapering off. Just making sure the knives are sharper than ever. And I've had a great camp with Virgil. With my command Don, my strength and conditioning coach Tony Brady, and we're very satisfied with all the results so far. And I'm just excited again, just to be headlining such a major card, to be in there, facing a a very tough opponent, a very skilled opponent, and I'm just counting down the days until February 5th.
What was this when you weighed all the options, Mario? What was the biggest thing that said, you know what, I got to go up? It's just I have to, because I remember the last time we spoke, you said there's still some unfinished business at 140. There's a guy who has all the belts, and Josh Taylor is a guy I was certainly want in the future. So obviously that's not going to happen. But so what was the big thing that said, I got to move up to 147?
I think it was just, given that even before the last fight, the move up to 147, it was already something that we were planning on testing out. And but with the last fight and everything, I think it kind of it really showed me and showed my team, that 140, it wasn't the division that I should be fighting in physically, just because there it wasn't there wasn't struggles making the weight, but it did take a lot more for my body to cut all the way down to 140. And we just felt, as a team, that I would be a lot stronger, and that we would have a lot, much better results moving up.
So take me back to the last fight and the Davis fight, man. And you look back at that fight. You took a lot of those early rounds in that fight, and really it seemed like had control. He did get you in the 8th, where he drops you a couple of times, then gets the stoppage in the 11th. But unbeknownst to you, at one point in that fight, I think the 10th round is when Floyd Mayweather goes to Tank's corner, is like, look, you're down. You got to go get this guy. When you look back on that fight, biggest mistake you say you made in that fight that you say, you know what, this will not happen again going forward?
Looking back at the Tank fight, me and my team, we're very satisfied with my performance. There was small mistakes that I made in that fight that we had looked back and corrected. Going back into this camp. But I was glad I was able to display my boxing abilities. I have always told everybody, I'm a great boxer. Aside from just a power puncher, just a basic fighter. And I think that fight really put everybody on notice. And I mean, I told everybody, I'm a warrior at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what I get hit with. If I get knocked down, I'm gonna get back up, and I'm gonna keep on coming. And I mean, again, we're still very satisfied with the performance, even though it didn't go our way. It was a great learning experience, and I'm just looking to continue on growing.
And when you look back on that fight, how much was like controlling the distance? Because you talked about you guys made some some corrections. How much was like controlling the distance? You know, one of the things that you maybe worked on here going forward that you say, you know what, that will never happen to me again.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at that fight, that was one of the main keys um, going into it was, because we knew, he was very explosive, very quick on the inside, and so it was just trying to minimize his, what he was good at, and but he ended up he found his way inside, and then my first response, has always been sit there and fight. It's not always the best reactions, especially when you're hurt. But again, I mean that's the fighter that I am, and but yeah, I mean, looking forward, there was mistakes that we did pick up on, that we did see, and me, Virgil, and the rest of my team, we all sat down, we all dissected that fight, before this previous camp even began.
You know, lots have been made of Tank's punching power. How was it?
Oh yeah, I mean he has power. It was the first time I had ever been down in my career. It wasn't something I was expecting. It the first two times that he put me down, I was still trying to wrap my head around. Well, like what happened in the first place, and then just trying to figure out how everything was unfolding. But again, I mean, I got up. I was gonna continue on fighting. Regardless. I still feel like the fight shouldn't have been stopped, but I mean, the ref is in there to make decisions, for our best interest, and he made a decision, that he felt was necessary, and something that I had to respect, and just continue on moving forward from.
It was your first time fighting pay-per-view. Obviously, a draw like Tank was. What was the biggest lesson? Not lesson, or what was the biggest thing that you learned from a fight like that? Now going into another pay-per-view fight with Thurman, where you're like, you know what? Hey, look, I've already been through that with Tank. This is nothing to me.
I think just everything that came with that fight. Everything with the media. Everything with oh, I fought Tank in Atlanta, which where he was a heavy favorite. But I still had plenty of supporters there. But it was definitely a Tank crowd, and I think just dealing with everything that comes with the pay-per-view fights, outside of the boxing aspect. Um, I think going into this one, it's really going to benefit me a lot, and because I've been under the bright lights plenty of times, where the last fight I headlined Showtime, which was uh, a major point in my career. It's something that I'm very proud of. Just knowing that I have been able to come this far, and now I'm headlining pay per view once again. This time in Vegas, and I'm excited for the opportunity. My first fight in Vegas was actually on the Guerrero Thurman undercard, and now 6 years later, here I am, fighting against Keith Thurman, and just goes to show you, man, everything that I have put into the sport, everything that I all the time, all the dedication, all the hours in the gym, it's all paying off.
That's hot. Listen, I remember talking with Danny Garcia, and he was talking to me about his first loss. And he said, he had been so successful in his career, obviously, champion, unified champion, that he kind of went into like a little mini depression because he just wasn't used to suffering an L. What was it like for you? Certainly after coming to grips with, man, I finally have taken a loss. What was that like for you?
Um, it was tough, like I said, we didn't plan on going into that fight, walking away with an L. I wasn't planning on touching the canvas, and but I mean, I have a great team. I have a support system, behind me, with my family, my sisters, my mom, uh, my niece, my friends. And they all kept me in good spirit afterwards. And then just the reaction that we got from the performance, it was awesome. Like I was saying before that fight that fight had the potential to reach not only boxing fans but the world of sports. And the night me and Tank fought, our fight was number one trending on Twitter. There was people that were tweeting about the fight. NBA stars, all other type of athletes, and I mean, it was just a great feeling. Knowing that I had that type of impact. Just from doing something that I love.
That's hot, man. That's hot. What did Virgil, and he's one of the greatest trainers that's ever done. What did he say to you after that fight?
Me and Virgil had a really good talk. He expressed how proud he was of me as a fighter. As a man. As his boxer. And it was very nice, man. But me and Virgil, we have a great relationship. He's I look at him, as a mentor, a coach, a friend. And I'm thankful, that we're still on this journey together.
That's fantastic. Do you believe Mario Barrios has hit his prime yet, or are you still ascending?
I feel like I'm still ascending. I haven't reached that peak yet, and that's why it's still. That's why I'm so excited. Really, because the last fight, we again, I touched the just the world of sports, with my performance, and I still have so much to show everybody.
What do you think people will be saying about Mario Barrios if he beats Keith Thurman on February 5th?
I think they're going to be saying, some really big things, but I know that that's not an easy task, which is why, I have had, such an intense camp, you know, again with Virgil, with Tony Brady, with the rest of my team, and like I said, we're 3 weeks out. There's still, a whole lot of work to do, just to taper off, and yeah, I mean, big task in front of me, but I'm gonna be ready.
What's your biggest confidence going into this fight? Because it is your debut at 147. You got a guy who's basically been so successful at that weight, been a champion. What's your biggest confidence going into this fight?
I have always said, I have confidence in my preparation, and I have confidence in my team. In the work that we put in together. We have a great system. Where there's communication, whether it's just the work that we're putting in. We all mesh very well together. So I think definitely my preparation. Just knowing I have a strong unified team behind me. What else could I ask for?
Teofimo, a side note, Teofimo Lopez says he's moving up now. Best advice you would give him about moving up to 140, a division that you know very well?
It's a stacked division, with plenty of great talent, just like himself. I would just say, just stay hungry, stay ready, and I mean, I'm sure he's gonna find plenty of success moving up, but that there is plenty of challenges that are waiting for him there.
Now, this, Mario, we let everybody who watch and listen to this podcast submit questions. Man, we got a number of them for you on social media. So let's get right to them here. Hassan from Twitter, he asks, you have fought in every weight class from 122 now to 147. Do you feel like 147 will be the best division for your body, and will be the last division that you'll fight in, or will you go up again?
Right now, I think 147 is definitely the best division for for my body, for my frame. I don't know if that'll be the last division I touch. Only time can tell. Again, I have even a big frame for welterweight, and but right now that's where our eyes are set on, and that's where we're looking to have our most success.
Chuck from Twitter asks, Mario, who do you want next at 147?
Right now, all of our focus is just on Keith Thurman. Like I said, even that, I know Thurman isn't an easy task at hand, but given everything, does go our way, I just want to continue on fighting the best in the division, and just bringing the biggest fights to the boxing fans.
And if you get a victory over Thurman, do you demand for a title fight then, or do you say, give me another, top 5 guy in the division?
Like I said, we're gonna have to see. First things first. We gotta accomplish what we have in front of us, and then given that goes the way that we're planning, we'll sit down with my team, and we'll decide what's the next best step.
I tell you what, how about this? How about Mario Barrios? If you're successful, how about Mario Barrios and Jaron Boots Ennis? I think that would be a great fight. 2 young guys, same age. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. There's there's numerous fights out there that have great potential. Boots is a tremendous fighter. It would be an honor to fight with him. But yeah, man. First things first. Man. Keith Thurman is the only guy I have on my mind.
I got it. Renee asks, what are some of the things you learned from the Gervonta fight, and do you plan on staying at 147 now for the rest of your career?
Uh, I learned a lot about myself, in the Gervonta fight. But I think most importantly, I got to just like I said, display my boxing abilities. I got to show everybody I'm a lot more than just a strong puncher. I have always been a great boxer with a great boxing IQ, and but again, going back to the 147, this is where I plan on being, for a while at least.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Ted, he asks, what is your favorite fight that you've seen in person?
Oh man, uh, that was a tough one. I think as recently, I was there for the Canelo Plant fight, and man, that was an amazing fight. My boy Caleb, he went out there, and him as well. He displayed, his boxing skills to the world. But Canelo, who has been a fighter, I've been able to appreciate, for plenty of years. He's continuing, to show why, he's why he's pound for pound. In my eyes, he was number one. But again, I was, man, very proud of my friend, my someone I've been boxing on the cards with, since the beginning of our careers. Caleb Plant, man, I was super proud of him. Super proud of what he displayed that night. But yeah, as of recently, man, that was one of my favorite fights attending.
This next one from Twitter asks, was Tank the hardest puncher you've ever faced?
Well, yeah, he was he's been the only one who has ever made me touch the canvas. So I mean he could definitely crack.
Lou, he asks, what's your favorite Mexican meal and what's your favorite restaurant in San Antonio?
Man, that one was hard. Uh, one of my favorite meals is either migas migas rancheras or really, I mean, any type of breakfast tacos. My favorite gotta be, papa egg with bean and cheese, and like that, and just one taco. Like that's it.
In the favorite restaurant in San Antonio?
Ah, man, there's too many to list. San Antonio
What,
got
what,
some of the
what was
best Mexican food.
what was that? What was the restaurant we saw each other, man? It was after the tank fight too. Those fish tacos were banging in that
um,
in that spot.
I think it was Rosario's.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
Rosario's.
You were
Yeah,
there with the family. You were there with the family.
yeah, yeah. That's a spot I'm always at back home. But again, man, like it's hard to put like just one at the very top because again, man, San Antonio got some of the best Mexican food. Arguably, whether it's people in California or just people anywhere. I will die on that hill where Tex-Mex is fire.
This next one from Twitter says, to what extent do you think your power will increase by going from 140 to 147?
I feel we're gonna shock the world come February 5th, and I know it's gonna be because of the preparation that I have had for this camp. Again, moving up. It's not something that a lot of fighters are able to do successfully, but again, I know with the work that I've been putting in with Tony Brady, and along with the skills that me and Virgil work on, I feel my power at this point, it's definitely going to carry over. And I'm just I'm just waiting to show everybody come February 5th.
This next one from Twitter, same kind of question, says, do you feel like the bigger, stronger man, even though you're moving up in this fight?
I'm definitely, the bigger, out of the two of us, and I believe I'm stronger. I believe I'm faster. I'm I believe I'm more skilled, and but that's for me to prove come fight night.
Limbus from Twitter asks, if you weren't so good at punching people, what do you think you would have been doing right now in your life?
Uh, Man, that was a hard one. I can't even really imagine my life without boxing. But skating was always a passion of mine. I still skate in my free time, and but probably if it wasn't boxing, I would be a way better skater than what I am.
I love it. Okay, Mario Barrios, it's time for the last segment of this show. It is called The Last Stand. You know the deal. I'm asking you a series of questions. Just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
All right, here we go, champ. Will you knock out Keith Thurman February 5th?
I'm going in there with bad intentions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Love it. Who do you believe is the best welterweight in the world fighting right now?
It's hard to put one at the top. There's not a unified champion right now. But man, there's plenty of talent in the division, and I'm just happy to be a part of it now.
A lot of people, when it comes to welterweight, say Spence or Bud Crawford. What does Mario Barrios say?
I believe, man, they're both exceptional fighters, and until we see them square off, you can't put one over the other.
If you beat Keith Thurman, who do you want next?
Again, right now, my eyes are just set on Keith Thurman.
What is your goal in this sport that you haven't accomplished yet?
The ultimate goal, like all the other fighters, that are doing this, to be unified champion.
At 147.
Mm-hmm. At 147.
Got it. Last but not least, what's more popular in San Antonio? Is it football or is it boxing?
I believe it's boxing now, man. Boxing, I mean, San Antonio boxing is taking over, man. We got plenty of up and coming fighters, man. We got my brother, Henry Erendondo, that's coming up. We got Bam Rodriguez, my brothers, Joshua Franco, Hector Tanahara. San Antonio is a hotbed for boxing, and I think now people are really starting to take notice.
Hey, listen, that Cowboy loss certainly doesn't help. When the Cowboys lose, like, man.
Hey,
it's like the world ends down there in Texas.
I was like, man, it's a good thing because I'm not even a Cowboys fan.
Mario Barrios, he tangles with Keith One-Time Thurman on pay-per-view February 5th. Make sure you check it. My brother, it is always good to see you, man. I wish you nothing but success.
Likewise, Brian. Always a pleasure, my man.
That's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And I tell you now, at 147, you got Mario Barrios. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next week.